Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another Southwest NASCAR Series live stream. Today is race number Lucky 13, the 16th race that we've actually put up on the channel this season. But we're going road course racing for the second time this season from wine country in Northern California. Also, in fact, it actually is. Wildfire country because in 2017 the Santa Rosa fire, you could literally see flames from the Sonoma Raceway. But now that we have that ugly picture in our heads, let's hop to the racetrack in the middle of wildfire season in California and get set and ready to go for this season's second road course race of the year. So now we'll hop forward to the racetrack. And get things all set and ready to go. Alongside me today is Bill, as per usual.
Hello, hello.
So how do you think this race is going to go?
Wreckfest. We did a test, about 5 test race earlier, and they all just kind of wrecked. Pole sitter has a huge advantage. It seems like it's really hard to pass leader. Clean air is very, very important. If you get out front, you can stay there. So, yeah.
Unfortunately, we won't be able to do no cautions. That is something that I would very much love to do at this racetrack, because it would allow us to have the aggression levels much higher for these drivers than we do, and we'd have an actually pretty good race. But we'll see. We will see. We take a look at the number 1 of Max Weisner running his Good Wrench scheme this week. That Dale Jr. tribute car, even though he's not the number 3 car and probably shouldn't be running a Dale Sr. even though he's a number 1 car, not the number 3. Probably shouldn't be running a Dale Sr. throwback car, but, you know.
We're looking at you, Anders.
And there's the number 18 of Adrian Mobley, who has been pretty good this season. 2 wins. And for him, Adrian Mobley, he's sitting in the 12th position. 12th position. He was in 16th prior to the last race, but picked up 4 spots in points. But the top 3 still remain unchanged. The current points order, sorry I don't have it up on screen, I forgot, but the current points order is Coaster Enthusiast in first with 1727. Emily Winters in second with 1620. Sharon Kyle in third with 1593. Payson Avery picks up 3 spots for after last race, moving up to 4th with 1559. Then Cole McElmoyle and Ad are tied in points. Cole McElmoyle picking up 5 points, and Ad picking up, or Cole McElmoyle picking up 5 spots. Ad loses 2. Reaper of Hope is in 7th. He picks up a spot with 1527 points. And then Sam Blaney picks up 3 spots after his solid full performance from Michigan with 1523. Ben Pierce staying absolutely the same spot he was before with 1518. Then Max Weisner loses 5 spots with 1517. Winterwolf loses 4 spots. Again, 1503. Adrian Mobley picking up 4 spots up to 12th, as previously mentioned, with 1494 points. And then Matt Wynn picks up a spot with 1481 in 13th. GNP 14th with 1476, picking up a spot. Ryan Boyer 15th picks up 2 spots with 1468. Garrett Shima drops 3 in 16th with 1416. George Uriarte drops 17th, losing 5 spots in points, 1444 points. Ben Navarro 18th, gains 4 spots with 1413 points. And then Matt Nile also gaining 4 spots, 1397. Carlos Tavares gaining a spot from Chris Canavan with, he's tied with Chris Canavan for 20th, and that puts both of those two drivers up spots. Then we have Robot Spider, who gains 3 spots, 1379 points, with Flashy McClashy gained 5 spots. That's for 22nd. Brian Anders remains steady in 24th with 1314. James Youngman picking up 25th, ahead by 1 spot with 1303. Then Brandon Delpino drops to 26th, 1263. Matt Banswicki and Bren swap spots. Banswicki 27th, 1248. Bren in 28th with 1235. And then the last 2 drivers in the points remain the same. It's Daytona 500 winner Muse Better and Parker. Mew with 1179 and Parker with 1165. So now that we've gone through all of the points, this practice session is almost complete, and then we'll get to the race session. And we will see who gains the pole. Actually, we'll hop there now. And in. So your pole sitter today, for the second time this season, Banswicki gets the pole. Second pole of the year for him. We'll see if he can lead every single lap in this race, or if he'll get passed early on, or worse, wrecked. Let's go through the starting order, presented by no one because sponsorships.
We're poor.
So, Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series fans should recognize the second place car because Martin Truex Jr. won in that paint scheme here at Sonoma Raceway. Ben Pierce, I guess, running that scheme as good luck. The Bass Pro Shops, number 11, Toyota Camry, rolling off second. In third, Road 2 is the 54, your points leader, Coaster Enthusiast. And then Emily Winters in the 15, starting fourth. Row 3 sees the 27 of Garrett Shima and the 39 of Ad in 6th. Then row 4 in position number 7 is the 78 of Greenwich Talonflame, the Mountain Dew Baja Blast Chevrolet Camaro, and 8th is the number 4 YouTube Ford Mustang. Feels better. And in 9th, row 5, the number 19 of Sharon Kyle, the DuPont Dodge Challenger, and rolling off 10th today is the number 26 of Matt Nile, the Miller Lite Ford Mustang. Row 6 has Adrian Mobley in the number 18 M&M's Toyota Camry, and then position number 12 is the number 44 of Creeper of Hope. In row 7, position number 13 is the New Hampshire winner, Flashy McClashy, with the Boring Company Dodge Challenger. And then in 14th is the number 3 of Brian Anders. the Corona Extra Chevrolet Camaro. Then in 15th, row 8 is the number 1 of Max Weisner, the Goodwrench Chevrolet Camaro, and then in 16th is the number 42 of Brandon Delfino, the Greta One Bank Chevrolet Camaro. Then in 17th, that is row number 9, is the number 88 Mountain Dew Chevrolet Camaro of Winter Wolf, and then in 18th, the number 22 Coors Light Toyota Camry of Sam Blaney. 19th in row 10 is the number 24 of George Uriarte, the Exalta Chevrolet Camaro, and then the Geico number 8 of DNP_10 rolling off 20th. 21st is the number 12 of Parker in the BC Solar Ford Mustang. And then rolling off 22nd, row 11, is the 25 of Robot Spider. Row 12 has the number 5 of Jason Avery in the Maine Fire Department Ford Mustang. And then Ryan Boyer rolling off in 24th in the number 14 Haas Automation Ford Mustang. Then row 13 has the 99 in 25th, the Aflac Ford Mustang of James Youngman, and then rolling off 26th is the number 7 of Carlos Tavares Pepsi Toyota Camry. Row 14 is the number 61 of Paul McElmoyle rolling off in 27th, the Spotify Chevy Camaro, and then the Ford Performance Ford Mustang of Matt Wynn, the number 13 car rolling off in 28th. 29th today is Chris Ganaban in the Valvoline Ford Mustang and running out the field. In 30th, row number 15 is the 10 of Light Yagami, or Ben Navarro in this case, the Napa Auto Park Toyota Camry. And so in 15 seconds we will receive the command here from Sonoma Raceway. But before that, Bill, do you have any last minute pick to win?
Oh man, I'm going to say it's somebody from up front because from what we've seen earlier on in test races, it just didn't seem like anyone from mid to deep pack was going to win this race. The pole sitter, he'd be up there for the majority of it, and then, off a restart or something, he'd wreck with the car beside him. So I'm going to say the 54 is going to win this race today.
Well, that's an interesting choice, but based on what we've seen through testing so far, my pick has got to be this number 2 car, just because you get that run into turn number 1, or turns 1 and 2, you have the inside lane, and then, well, turn 1 you have the inside, and then turn 2, if you haven't cleared second place by then you're kind of screwed. May end up finding yourself in the grass, but we will see how this race goes. But if I were you, if I was anybody in this field, I'd be wanting to either be all the way at the back, but more so all the way up at the front, because I get the feeling that not every car who starts this race is going to make it to that checkered flag at the end.
The middle of the pack just gets so bunched up on restarts because everyone's trying to get to the front. Everyone knows it's going to get single file eventually, and then you're just going to be following the car ahead of you. Unless someone makes a mistake, you're not going to gain any track position. So you'll see the middle of that pack clump up 3 or 4 wide, and that's where these wrecks happen to this racetrack. Everyone's trying to get to the front all at the same time, and mistakes happen when you're 3 or 4 wide, and then wrecks happen when you're 3 or 4 wide. So it's going to be exciting on restarts, but if we get if we get green flag runs, this race will kind of grow boring, and that's when you'll see the top 4 or 5 just kind of pull away, and it's going to become a 2 or 3 car race.
Well, let's see how this thing goes. We'll be coming through the S's for the first time today. Turn number 9 there. And then it'll come to turn 10, turn 11, the hairpin, and then turn 12. We are not actually running the full 12-turn road course that the Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series ran this season, and that is because, sadly, I am not able to find the 2019 version of the racetrack, and I mean, yeah. We're running the 2013 version of this course, which up until 2019 is basically the same. The only difference now is the fact that it runs technically the old layout that was last used in 2019. Now we'll get a bit of craziness because the AI don't know how to pace here through turn 11, but we'll get things sorted out by the time we get to the start finish. The number 2 gonna lead us to this green flag. Matt Vanswicki, currently sitting in 27th on points. No, yeah, 27th. Wants to have a good day. We're underway off into turn number 1. Through 2. Everybody's still, for the most part, double file here throughout the field. And like I was talking about pre-race, the 2 manages to get clear. A lot of cars running off the racetrack in the grass, and you do tend to see that a lot here, especially on the restarts. But towards the later portions of this race, you tend to still see it. They're still side by side, and we've already got a wreck. The 1 and the 22 get together into the tire barriers. And now a big wreck. The 714 and 88 get caught up. And that will bring out a caution flag. The 12 off in the grass. And coming to that caution flag as the race leader will be the number 2. And we'll take a look at how this all transpired.
I said it before the race even started when we were on that pace lap. That middle to back of the pack just gets so racy so early on, trying to gain as much track position as they possibly can, that there's just nowhere to go. They end up hitting one another, and I'm getting one another loose, and we end up getting wrecks like this. Every restart, you'll see that. Maybe not every restart there'll be a wreck, but every restart someone's going to be off into the grass, and it's going to be insanely racy.
And here's where it all kind of starts. So they're coming. So here, the initial wreck is between the 22-1. The initial wreck here is between the 88 and the 1. The 1 gets into the 22, and that's how they get off into that wall there. And I think that, yeah, that initial wreck brings out the caution. But then in trying to get around it, it seems that the 5, 99, and 61 all bunched up. They come off the racetrack to get around some of these inside cars, and the 12 and 24 who check up, trying to avoid the wreck. And in going into the grass, we see the likes of the 5 car and the 88. The 5 gonna end up coming back up on this 14. And then I guess what really causes this wreck is the 88 gets into the grass, and then he comes off the racetrack. The 14 gets pinched by the 5 and the 25, and then the 7 nowhere to go. And so caution comes out first time today. So let's ride on board with this 14 as he gets pinched by the field in front of him. We'll watch him come down the chute here and through 4. Let's watch this. Picking up. Go left, car left side, car right side, pretty wide. Pretty wide, middle. Reckon ahead of you. Right in. Surprisingly enough, not a lot of damage for this number 14. It's just one of those portions of the racetrack that's slow enough that he really, the only contact is the initial contact that he makes. The initial contact comes from the 14 hitting this 5 car. And he's going to come back up. Almost catches the 25. I don't think he does. And then the 7 makes it 4 wide, or at least looked like he was going to. And then the 7 ends up running into the back of the 14, and that's what's going to turn him. So the only real damage is from that contact there with the 14, which is really only a bit of a tap. And then he kind of taps the 7 on the side there again. So not a lot of damage for the 14. The 7 with a significant amount of damage to the hood. And then up here, when the 88 and the 12 get together, it's a little bit of a different story. As that the 8 gets into the grass and then the 12 backs into the wall. Big damage from him. And then I think that everybody is going to end up staying out under this caution here.
Watching back that replay, 13 did a great job to stay out of that. He saw something fishy with the 14 and the 5 going on, so he went into the grass trying to get around it. He did a good job. He missed everyone by quite a bit. And yeah, Matt Wynn, great vision to try to stay out of that wreck and keep going in this race.
So the only car that comes to pit road is that 18. And then, of course, the cars that were involved in the caution. The rest of the field stays on the racetrack. And so with that, the 2 leads the first 3 laps of this race. And then it's the 11, the 15, 27, 5, 39, 4, 78, 26, and 44. And I get the feeling that we aren't done with yellow flags here.
No, we might get 1 or 2 or 6 more. Yeah. Maybe single file, they can, be able to spread out a little bit more, but when they're double file, man, getting double file, someone gets way too greedy and makes the field go 3 wide.
Now there's damage to the front of the 11. He just ran over the 2. The AI just have an inability to pace turn 11 here. So now that 11 car is not going to get as good of a restart because he's got front end damage. We're back under green, lap number 3. So far the car's out of the race. Well, no one yet, but I think, yeah, everybody's still running in this race so far. They're already double file all the way down through turns 2 and 3. Car in the grass. I couldn't see who that was. And whoa! Big out of the way, and this will bring out a caution. The 27 overdrives turn 4. And that will bring out a caution. And that's going to be the 27 stay up in smoke. In the grass again, and more cars off the racetrack. The 78 and the 19 get together. As they come through 11 to the line. The 2 gonna be your race leader here from Sonoma Raceway.
I'm not so sure that 27 didn't have help, because most guys are able to make that corner. It's kind of strange that he just went straight off into that wall, or something had to have broken. Because yeah, there's cars in front of him. You think he could have got slowed up enough? That
Well,
was a
let's
strange ride.
see what happened with that number 27 car. That brings out the second caution of the day. '15 was the car that was off in the grass, and the 27 runs over the 15, and then I don't know. No one seems to really push him. If anything, the 27 running into the back of the 15 should have helped him get it wound up for the turn, unless he damaged something in the front end of that race car that caused him to not be able to turn. But that's just so strange, because he turns in, and then it's like the car doesn't turn. Because look at how far wide he goes in turn 4A there.
It's almost, or I'm wondering if it's not what Kyle Busch did at Watkins Glen. He ran into that 15 with his left front, so I'm wondering if he didn't just knock the left front tire rod out or snap something in that left front that just caused that thing to go sideways.
And then let's come up further here to the 8th position and see what happens between the 19 and the 78. Now, they were 3 wide, 26 in the middle. And I think that forces the 78 into the grass there. And he's just trying to get it back onto the racing line. And then the 19 gets the grass in turn 9. Same thing as with the 88 and the 12. Just the 78 gets lucky and hits just the left side. That car will be able to continue. So now coming to pit road. Pit lane is open. Any takers? The 7 is in. The 14 gonna drop to the surface of pit road. And the 12 gonna come in as well. The 19 and the 78. And you would understand those 2 cars on pit road, as well as the rest of the drivers who are in. All of them involved in some form or another. Because in the first or second caution. So right now the 12 is 6, or the 12, the 2 is 6 laps away from leading the most laps here from Sonoma Raceway, as the halfway point is around, well, more like 8 laps away from that halfway point. The halfway point, lap 13 here. And should he be able to lock up the most laps led, that would be the second time that Matt Banzwicki has led the most laps, and it would certainly help him on his quest to get out of 27th and get up further in this field. The most points you can earn from a race is 195, and that would be 25 more than second place if he's able to pull off the most laps led as well as the race win, and that would definitely help him get out of last.
Let's just remind folks at home, Chicagoland Speedway, the 2 was on the pole. He was dominating the race. It came up to the final restart of that race when the 61 got up there, got through the lead, got to third, and then ended up passing the 44 and the 2. And after that, it was over. The 2 couldn't get back by him. So the 2 is really good at qualifying up front on the tracks where clean air means a lot. But he couldn't finish it off at Chicagoland. Let's see if he took some notes and is able to finish it off here at Sonoma.
It was the only caution of the Chicagoland race that cost the 2 the win. We'll see if a phantom caution like that chooses to haunt the 2 again. And I know for a fact that this number 2 car would love to have a win, whether it's in the Sim Series or even in the Roblox series. He came second in the Roblox Daytona 500. For those, spoiler alert, finished second to the 88 of Winterwolf, but for sure he definitely has the willpower and the car to win races. It's just a matter of execution.
And just think about the 3 cars behind him. The 11 sitting 9th in points right now. The 54 leading the points. The 15 is second in points. So that points win could just get them further up in the standings. I mean, the battle between the
talk about fifth place too. Ad is currently tied with Cole McElmoyle for 5th in points.
Exactly, like that second, third, fourth, and fifth right now. They need points trying to get up there for the championship. Who knows? Maybe this win could sway the championship in the favor of the 54, of the 15. Like, this race could, be the deciding factor in this championship.
The 15 asking over the radio where she is. Currently running in the 4th position. But the problem for her is the fact that she's a total of 107 points behind the points leader, Coaster. And so she's probably going to need a couple of race wins to even have a shot at beating this 54 in points. I mean, as previously mentioned, the most you can get is 195. So all it could take is the 54 finishing in last place for her to have to pass him. But that would also mean that she would have to win.
I mean,
or it's
I'd rather restart the race, if I'm honest, than not have a stream for Sonoma.
Well, I think all it is connection.
It's frozen on lap 7 of 25. It's been there for like 10 minutes now. Because you're not live anymore.
Pause. It's a lag issue.
But it's not gonna fix. It's the thing. Like, you have to stop the stream and restart it.
Streaming again. Let's see if that.
Oh, there we go. It's up now. It's live now.
Let's hope that the game doesn't crash. There we go. Surprisingly enough, that worked. That is a rarity.
Yeah, I think your Wi-Fi died or something.
Yeah, back here, lap 9 of 25. Those of you who were away, caution came out because the 61 died going in turn number 2, took a hard hit into the tire barrier, and we are under caution for the 3rd time today. We'll be coming to the restart with 26 or 16 to go, and here we go once again. I heard a car wrecking at the back. Yeah, we got another car around. It's the 99. Caution comes out again. This is also why road courses don't run cautions in real life. Because if we could, a wreck like that, we'd probably still be able to continue. But thanks to the fact that I can't turn cautions off, here we are coming to caution flag. And this 2's under this caution is going to wrap up those 10 bonus points for the most laps led. And he's also been the only driver to lead laps today. And to that caution flag, the number 2 is your race leader. the 99 going to be the last car coming to that checkered flag. We're under caution once more, and I think it's the same issue that we had turn number 1 earlier in this race. So now we get to look at a wreck that we basically already saw. Off into turn 1, he's followed here by the 10, and I think the 5 has, they're going into that braking zone in turn 1. The 99 trying to look under the 77, and then the 10 looks under the 99, and he just turns him. And then the 99 slides, and he's going to go the whole way around, bringing out that caution flag. And he's also on the racetrack, which brings out the caution. And he would have been able to continue if it weren't for the fact that the caution came out. But his race is not over yet. He'll just have to start at the rear. Now, that's a very similar incident to what you guys missed with Cole McElmoyle in the 61. It's just that the 61 was traveling at a much higher rate of speed, and so he ended up in the tire barrier. So pit road will be open this time. We'll be restarting on lap 13 of 25, or coming to lap 13. And so it will be 13 to go. Pit road is open. We'll see how this shakes out, because it looks like we've got some cars coming to pit road. The 11 gonna duck to the surface of pit lane. And it looks like he's gonna be the only driver to make that call inside of really the top 25. First car after that but was position 23, the 7 coming to pit road, and then the 14, 12, and 78, and all of those guys have damage. So the number 2 will be your race leader from Sonoma Raceway. Bill.
Well, this race has been exactly how it's been predicted. Wreckfest at the beginning, and the leaders haven't been able to get past. That 2 cars looked dominant all day, and that 11's gotten to him a couple times, but not able to pass him. Now in second is that 54. We'll see if he has anything for the 2. But DMP, your prediction might be right. That 2 car might just take this checkered flag, and along with it, leading every single lap for the first time this season.
Would this be the first time that a driver who we predicted to win would win?
Believe so, maybe? I don't know.
I mean, guys, go and watch. I think the only other... if I'm not mistaken, I think I called the 19's win at Bowman Gray. But feel free to go over to the Bowman Gray video and correct me if I'm wrong. But this would only really be the second time that a driver predicted or slated to win this race wins, and honestly, it's kind of interesting how we can't, every time we've really picked a driver, they've kind of not been able to perform, other than this time where the 2 has just been dominant.
No one's been able to get to him, man. They're there in turn 1 and 2 on a restart, and then the 2 just pulls them. They just can't get to his quarter panel, can't get him loose. That car is tuned up, boys.
As they come through the S's.
Another factor is he might be the only car here with no damage.
I
Like,
think I saw further through the field that the 15 has. Well, she does have damage, uh, but I think further back, like this, I saw this 42 before the last restart. He didn't have damage. 24 looks to be pretty clean. The 13, the 3, the 5, 44, 77, and then the 25, 10, 88 kind of. All don't really have front end damage, but like with the 88, it's damage everywhere else, and that's kind of the case for most of the guys towards the back.
it also seems like clean air is champ. If you're out in clean air, you're gone. No one's getting you. If you have the clean air, you're just gonna pull everyone with dirty air. So yeah, this might be it. I don't know if anyone's gonna be able to touch that 2 car. Seems pretty. He's sitting pretty up front, and doesn't seem like anyone's gonna dethrone him in this race.
Green flag back in the air, and already under that caution, the 88. Not too happy with the way this race has been going. Obviously, a little frustrated after wrecking early, and not too pleased with the fact that he's not going to have a good point stat out of this. He's currently running in the 11th position on points. Scored 14 behind the one of Max Weisner, who he's surprisingly running ahead of, but I think that he's not going to be able to gain on him in points really, just because he probably won't gain spots in points. He'll likely pass this one in points after this race, but it's just not going to be a good points day for him overall.
Another driver that's having a big point stay in the hits is Cole McElmoyle. Him gonna be finishing 29th, being 5th in points right now. He's taking a huge punch to the gut here, points wise. He could drop 5, maybe 10 spots. We'll just have to see where he sits at the end of this race.
And the driver who was right on his doorstep looking for extra points is this 39 of Ad. He's tied with him for 5th for now, but as they run, the 39 would for sure have 4th place locked up. Maybe even 3rd, seeing as he's ahead of the 15 car there.
Another notable point stays at 54. Another solid day. Right now sitting in 2nd. And the person chasing him for that points lead is the 15 of Emily Winters. She's there sitting in 4th, but he's got about a half a second gap to her and the 39 car in between the two. So he's just looking back in his mirror, seeing a car between the two. He's got a little bit of a cushion. So now he's just got to finish this race off, and he survives another day with that points lead.
Number 2 has locked up those 10 bonus points. Now really all the battles on the racetrack, it seems everybody's managed to get it single file. All these battles on the racetrack now are just going to be points battles really towards the back of the field. Because it just seems that nobody can get anywhere. Kind of a bit of an issue. It's just when they have the chances to pass, they can't make the passes. When they actually have the good shots at making passes, they make the pass and then they wreck. And because the caution comes out, then it resets the field single file, and so then they restart, get double file, and then get single file again, and then they go to pass and wreck once more. And also, I guess it's not been too kind of a points day for this 11 car. Look at him all the way back here in 23rd.
He was in ninth place in points.
He
He
wasn't.
was second for the
He was
majority of this
second
race.
a lot of this race, but came down pit road under that caution, and the front end of that car got completely torn off by his pit crew.
Must have been
Got
having
him.
a problem with the engine.
I mean, it seemed to me like, I mean, we saw the field running into the guy in front of him that on a lot of those caution flags, but who knew that Ben thought that the back bumper of Matt Vanswicki was tasty enough to destroy the front end of his race car.
He pulled a William Byron at Watkins Glen. Maybe he wasn't happy with something Vanswicki did, or he felt like he cut him off, and he went to give him a little bumper, and Vanswicki might have brake checked him. You know, that rivalry,
or
more gas to it.
Or maybe with the fact that, uh, or maybe with, I don't know, the fact that it's a Mustang, Ben thought that car was really good and wanted to have it or something, or got it confused with Emily Winters, we don't know.
Oh, Ben's not going to be happy with that one, dude.
I know. But
Just...
what else is there to talk about right now? We're
battle for the points
file.
lead. Yeah, to be fair, I mean, that battle for the points lead, 54 has stretched his cushion between him and the 15 even larger. Now it's 1.4 seconds over that 15 car, so he's got a big cushion. He's still got Ad in between him. I think Ad's just content on where he is. He knows that 61 is crashed out. He'll definitely make it to fifth on points today, maybe even fourth. You know, it's just for the guys that are up front and gals, it's been a great points day. But for the people in the back and the people who have wrecked out, it's
contact! Off into the tire barrier! Around goes the 9 and the 10! And back onto the racetrack, the 19 gonna be off the track! And these guys, I was just waiting for you to... Oh, and now the 9 not too pleased with Let You Got Me, and he just dumps him into the tire barrier in 11. 10, excuse me.
Don't blame him.
I had just been waiting for you to finish talking because the 10 and the 9 had been side by side going through turn 7 there, and they had been side by side like that the previous lap. These two drivers were racing extremely hard for what I believe was 26th. Maybe higher.
Well, that gives us something to talk about, especially going into next week.
But this is the battle for 19th, or at least it was the battle for 19th. And then going into 7, the 10 gets the run on the 9, out breaks him into the corner. Gets side by side, and then the 19 going to do the same thing on the 1. They were battling for the 20th position, and those were the only two side by side battles on the racetrack. And then as they got off of 7 into the S's, then I got another run on the 10. Got into the grass there. And I think that being side by side, the 11 drove it all the way into the grass. And then he's going to end up coming back up into the 9. Cuts him off, and that's probably what the 9 was unhappy with. And then he's all the way in the wall. And then he comes back out, clips the 9. And then the 19 and the 1 get involved. And it's the same deal. It's completely unrelated, but it's the same issue. The 19 comes back up the racetrack, collects the 1, and the 2 of them can't get it loaded up with the grass. But fortunately enough for the 19 and the 1, those 2 only tap the wall. That's big damage for the 11 and the 9, for the 10 and the 9.
Yeah, the 10 just slid across like he wasn't even there. I wonder if he tight and overshot the corner.
And then take a look, and then here's the retaliation.
Understandably so.
9 not too pleased with Ben Navarro driving that number 10 Light Yagami car.
Yagami just completely took him out. Although he did just get tight or overshot the whatever it was, I don't for being upset. I mean, they're having a bad enough day as is, racing for 19th position, and they clean each other out. That's just not a good day for either of those drivers. But that makes next week a lot more exciting because that's one more week until the championship race, and these two are going at it. You never know; they could take each other out again, and could take out the 54, one of our championship leaders.
And Chris Ganaban is only the 10 of Ben Navarro has 14,013 points. 13 points. The 9 of Chris Ganaban, the driver who had a bit of a run-in with him, has 1393. He's only 20 points back. So that could very well become a bubble position for those two drivers. There's not really a bubble to get, but those two could definitely be battling very shortly. They've been battling all race on the racetrack, but we'll have to see. Now let's go through the field under this caution flag, let you know who's still in this thing. Race leader is the number 2 of Matt Banswicki, and then second is the number 54 of Poster Enthusiast, the points leader. Then it's Ad in the 39, Emily Winters in the 15, then the 26 and 5th, that's Matt Nile. 6th is the number 4 of Muse Better. And then 7th is the 13 of Matt Wynn. 8th, the 24 of George Uriarte. 9th, the 44 of Reaper of Hope. 10th is the 3. 11th, the 42. 12th, the 8. 13th, the 5. 14th, the 77. 15th, the 25. 16th, the 18. 17th, the 88. 18th, the 22. 19th is the 11 of Ben Pierce. And then 20th is the 19 of Sharon Kyle. 21st is the 9 of Canavan. 22nd is the number 1 of Max Weisner. 23rd, the 10 of Light Yagami after that last wreck. 24th, the 7. 25th, the 14. 27th, 12, 28. 27th, the 99. 28th is 78. And off the racetrack is 61, losing this race because of a wreck, and the 27 off track because of a valve issue stemming from overdriving turn 4 and ending up in the tire barrier. But back underway. And all single file throughout the top 10. First side-by-side battle comes all the way back to the 13 and the 24 for 7th. 13 with a push from the 44. Gonna end up in the grass. Almost contact there between the 15 and the 44. He's gonna be running that Robbie Gordon line. They fan out behind them. Now the 13... or the 3 trying to pick up 9th from the 44, but the 13 going to be the big loser on that one. Side by side, the 8 and the 77 here, back for 14th, and now we've got another pair of cars in the wall, the 3 and the 44. Caution out again, and this will take us to 23. That may be the final restart on lap 23.
This is when the second place car, the 54, really got to get aggressive. He knows he has 2 wins in his back pocket, but he also knows if he gets another one, that 15 car might not be able to catch him in points. He just has to have decently consistent finishes, and this championship is his. So, if you were Coaster, would you play it aggressive on this restart, get your third win, or play it safe and just finish second and get your points, move on to the next race?
I'd probably try and get that win to help secure those points. I have a 107-point cushion right now, and even if I do lose the points lead, I've been running well enough that that I probably would be able to get it back. So I'd play aggressive. And I mean, if I'm the 15, there's not much to lose for her right now. Uh, she is about 27 points ahead of Sharon Kyle, and Sharon Kyle's not been having the greatest of days either. So
No.
now taking a look back at this wreck, it's the same issue that we talked about with the 10 and the 9. The 4 gets the inside positioning coming into the S's. The 3 comes back across the racetrack and takes out the 44. Those are the kind of wrecks that we wouldn't be seeing if the caution flags wouldn't come out, and we might actually have a race for the win. But alas, number 2 is long and away the race leader. Lap 21 of this thing. And a reminder for those of you who are interested in Roblox racing, the Pennzoil 400 from Las Vegas Motor Speedway will be tomorrow. And actually, huge turn of events for the 54. He's gonna drop to pit road. Lot of damage to the front end of that thing. The 15 stays on the racetrack. That could be huge championship implications.
39 pitted with him, so now there's absolutely no cushion between. Well, the cushion's gone. I mean, all the way to the back now.
The rest of the field, for the most part, with the exception of the 19, 9, and 10, and 1, stay on the racetrack. This is now a race that the 15 needs to finish well in.
If I were her, I'd go into 11. Nothing against Matt Vanswicki, but she knows she needs to win this race to get back in this championship. She's 100 and some odd points behind. If she wins this race, that could put her in the points lead from where Coaster's going to finish.
Emily Winters, second place, only 107 points behind. And with the 54 on pit road, he's going to end up coming out. So the 9 is in 28th, 27th, 27th is the 10, 26th is the 19, 25th is the 1, 24th is the 39, and so 23rd is the 54. Right now, that's 3, 73, 76, 79, 82, 85, only 88 points right now going to the 54, as opposed to 185. If the 15 manages to win the race today, she would come to within 2 points of that 54. So Coaster can't lose a spot. And the 15 can't win if Coaster wants to retain the points lead. That is huge championship implications.
You just wonder, like, was that damage really enough to hold them back 2 laps? You know, were they really that worried about the damage? You know, if I were them, I would have stayed on the racetrack. It didn't matter if I had a freaking gunshot in my fuel cell. I'd stay out there and try to...
I would have stayed out and tried to win the thing.
Yeah.
Because winning gets you 185 points, plus you lead a lap, which would give you 190 with the bonus points.
Like, that's huge.
Or, yeah. But now the 15 has a real good shot at, if not taking over the points lead, coming close. Now, NASCAR thinks it seems that NASCAR these days seems to think that the exciting way to make the championship interesting is to have all the gimmicky chase formats and force you to run well every race. No, you don't need all that, because just like that, the 54 is no longer running well, and he might be outed from the championship by the 15 who is running well.
This has just been an unbelievable turn of events. Like, this 15 now has a chance of a lifetime to get back in this championship hunt and maybe even win the championship.
And
like,
here
this
we go.
Is incredible.
Point of no return. I think if we get another caution this lap, it'll probably be, that would take us to lap 25. And towards the back, we've already got a car on the wall. That's Ben Pierce. I don't think it brought a caution out, though. We'll see as we go through.
The 15 needs to pass that, too.
I don't know that the 15 has the car to beat him.
I don't think no one has all day. She just has to dive it down in 11, hope to maybe either get him loose or make contact with them and try to take that lead, but I just don't think she gets
almost in the grass. Cars sliding off the racetrack, but they're 3 wide. The 39 trying to make moves. Right now, the position to watch is the 54, down in 22nd. And a caution has come out!
That's race. Race back to the line now.
The 2 might have just won this race. It's gonna, I don't know, we might get a 1-lap shootout. I don't think we will. No, we won't. This race is over. Matt Banswicki will win from Sonoma. And unless this 15 makes the idiotic decision to come to pit road, she's got a big point stay. 170 points coming to this number 15 car. And the 54, running in the position he's running, picks up 73, 76, 79, 82, 88, 85, 88, 91, 94, 97, 100. 54 is going to come out of this with 103 points. That's going to keep him in it, but the 15 definitely going to pick up some spots because of it. And so I believe the caution came out because the 11 lost it in 1, much like the 56, or the 56, the 61 and the 99. We'll see where this all shakes out. Pit road will be open this time. And who's gonna come in? 15. She just screwed herself. 15 obviously doesn't understand that this race just ended. And so she comes in. And so all the positions that she gained on the 54, that's all lost.
Unbelievable. I just made the announcement saying Coaster had a terrible late race strategy and Emily's going to come second. but that completely screwed herself. With 2 to go, she had. I'm wondering if she's not running out of gas or something. Like,
It just seems to be damaged.
I guess so. We'll have to see if the 2 makes it. We have to see if the 2 can make it back around. Because if he comes to pit, who's behind the 2 car?
26.
The 26. Matt Nile could win this race. If this is on fuel and the 2 has to pit, Matt Nile is going to win it.
I don't think. Just based on the cars that have pit, I think it's damaged from all of the times they've run over the 2 under caution.
Potentially.
Because the 11 had been running second, and then he pit, and then the 54 was running second, and then he pit.
Well, just think about it. What's the fuel window at Sonoma in real life? It's around 20 laps, right? 20, 25 laps. So if Banzwicky's been running hard, he might be out of gas. I made the announcement he's won, but he might not have. I might have called it too early.
Well, we'll see. He's got to make it around this 2-mile road course.
If he pits this time, which I don't think he will, but he might.
If he pits this time, then the 26 wins your race.
Then Matt
and
Niles,
that would be a huge choke for the 2. Because the 2 has literally led every single lap in this race from the drop of the green flag to the checkers.
Just an unbelievable performance from that 2 car. That whole team was pissed off after Chicagoland. They needed redemption. Well, this was their race. They never gave up the lead.
Who knew that this team would be making such a turnaround after not even making the Bowman Gray race? They had to
see if he pits.
They were low, really low in the points standings, going into Bowman Gray, and then the 2 team had to race their way in, and only the top 4 cars made it. He and the 12 of Parker both did not make the race due to not being able to pass anyone on the racetrack. And so little did we know that would relegate the 2 to 29th in points. And he's been in 29th in points all season. But that team has really worked together, and they've gotten that car turned around from the start at Chicagoland. The team got a pole, and then the number 2 went and led the most laps there, but he managed to choke it away on the 1 caution flag at Chicagoland. But they managed to get the expertise and the notes from the Chicagoland race on board that 2 car, and they will come to the checkered flag and win here at Sonoma Raceway in dominating performance. 25 laps led, but for Banzwicky, this one was the most important. It's the one that gets him 185 points and will likely help him in his quest for the championship. And now we'll go through the entire running order. Matt Banzwicky finishing first. Second is Matt Nile. Third, Mula's Better. Fourth, George Uriarte. Fifth is Matt Wynn. Sixth, Payson Avery. Seventh, Brandon Delpino. Eighth, the 77 of Flashy McClashy. Ninth, the 8 of DNP 10. The 10th is Adrian Mobley in the 18. 11th, Sam Blaney in the 22. 12th, Robot Spider in the 25. 13th, Carlos Tavares in the 7. 14th, James Youngerman in the 99. 15th was Parker in the 12. 16th, Brian Anders. 17th, Creeper of Hope. 18th, Coaster Enthusiast. 19th was At. And then 20th, the 78 of Greninja Talonflame. 21st, the 11 of Ben Pierce. 12th, the 15 of Emily Winters. 23rd was the 99 of Sharon Kyle. 24th, Winterwolf in the 88. 25th, Max Weisner in the 1. 26th, Chris Ganaban in the 9. And then 27th, Ben Navarro in the 10. 28th, the 14 of Ryan Boyer. And then rounding out your field today, unable to finish this race, the 61 of Cole McElmoyle and the 27 of Garrett Shima.
Well, it was a race that you predicted the winner of, but I think everyone said pole sitter would have a huge advantage. It's all about clean air. And, well, that just proved today. And, pole sitter didn't ever give up the lead, led every single lap. Congrats to Banswicki. You really deserved that one. A team needed some redemption after Chicagoland. They after they blew that dominating performance. But congrats to that two team, and yeah.
Well, thank you guys for tuning in. Points will be released shortly after this, but I would personally like to thank you for tuning into this race. The next one will be this Sunday from Martinsville, and we expect a lot of cautions there as well. But once again, thank you for tuning in, and until we go 125 laps from the half-mile speedway, the shortest, or actually the second shortest on this season, shortest on Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series circuit. Uh, Thank you for watching, and take care, everybody. See you in the next one.